Okay, so I told you the first leading cause of fires in the United States in the residential setting is cooking. So guess what the second leading cause of fires in the United States is? That's right, it's heating. Specifically, space heaters and small portable heaters are a huge problem in the United States. Heating is the second leading cause of home fires in the United States. And this statistic is a couple of years old, but it's really only gotten larger in the last 2 years. But in 2019, there were 33,000, just over 33,000 heating-related fires in United States residential properties. And looking back through our statistics, here in Garner, right here locally in Garner, again, cooking was the leading cause, and heating was the second leading cause of reported fires in the Garner Fire District over the last couple of years, and looking back at our statistics. So Garner is right in line with the United States. Nationwide, almost 250 deaths occur every year from portable heaters, from fireplaces, and from chimneys. And again, that's an average. Some years it's better and some years it's worse. But we want to work that number down to zero. And the only way to do that is by having heating equipment that is serviced annually by a professional. Make sure you've got a qualified contractor coming out each year in the fall and checking your heating system. They want to check your filters, make sure that your ductwork is clean. We want to make sure that especially if you're using a fossil fuel like gas or oil, we want to make sure that burner is burning cleanly so that we don't get carbon monoxide into our home. We want to keep combustibles and things that can burn or melt away from your heaters, your fireplaces, hot water heaters. All of us are we know that space is a premium and storage area is even worse, but oftentimes the room that's got our hot water heater in it, unfortunately, is where we store a lot of our cleaning materials and rags and things like that. And oftentimes the water heaters can heat those objects up and create fires unnecessarily. We had one about a month ago over on the other side of town at an apartment complex, and it was that exact same thing. The owners had stored some combustible material in the room with their water heater, and it was a gas water heater, and the gas flame from the water heater caught it on fire. Fortunately, they had a fire extinguisher close at hand and were able to contain the fire to that room. But imagine had they not been at home. The lower one here is one that we see in the wintertime a lot when people's heat goes out. Or we'll get up in the morning times because we all turn that thermostat down a little bit at night to save on that money. So we get up in the morning and we go in there to fix our pot of coffee. And what do? We reach over and turn that oven on about 350 and crack the door open. We don't want you doing that. It's never safe to use a range or an oven to heat your home. Number one, it's extremely expensive, but predominantly it's just not safe. Stoves are for cooking, and we prefer that you use them for that and that only. Space heaters. And again, and I apologize, I know I'm running real fast here, but we've got a lot of information to cover, and I want to make sure that that you get everything that we want you to hear today. So I would encourage you to play this back and listen to it some more. But space heaters, everybody likes to have that space heater. They can move around the room because their feet get cold in wintertime. You're propped up in your best favorite chair with a cup of coffee watching the ball game. You got a blanket laid across your knees and your lap. But those footsies are cold, so you turn that space heater on and put it over there in front of your feet. And unfortunately, Rover walks by and bumps the space heater and knocks it over. We've been to more than one fire here in Garner that were caused by either space heaters that were accidentally tipped over, or another big thing is space heaters plugged into electrical or extension cords that are not rated for that appliance, and that's a big one. So we want to make sure that we keep that space heater at least 3 feet away from anything that can burn. Very similar to anything else we've been talking about. We want to make sure we keep combustibles and flammable materials away from our heaters. Choose a space heater that will turn off if it's accidentally tipped over. And most of the ones sold today, retail, will in fact turn off if they're tipped over, both your electric space heaters and the oil-filled space heaters, but it should say so on the packaging, so just make sure that it does have that safety feature built into it. Make sure that you turn off a space heater before you go to bed. As good as it feels to wake up in a warm house, we do not want space heaters left on overnight unattended. Very similar when you're cooking. If you're not going to be in that room and be in the immediate area where that heater's running, we want to make sure you turn it off so that it does not accidentally get knocked over or something gets dropped on it or something gets laid on top of it and starts a fire. And then the last thing about your space heaters, as I said a second ago, making sure that we are using the proper size electrical cord to power that heater. We want to make sure that it's either plugged directly into a wall outlet or that it is using a drop cord that is rated for it. Ideally, it being plugged directly into the outlet is your best bet. Okay. Wood stoves and fireplaces, my favorite type of heat. Although my wife won't let me have fires in our house anymore because we've got pretty white carpet and she doesn't think that I'm grown enough to keep the carpet from getting dirty. But that's another story for another day. Wood stoves and fireplaces, whenever you use gas or lighter fluid to start a fire in a fireplace or a wood stove. Now, I haven't seen this in Garner, but I saw it back home where I'm from years ago. A gentleman accidentally used gasoline and put it in an enclosed wood stove, and when he lit it, the fire erupted through the entire living room, and he wound up succumbing to the injuries from that fire at the hospital 2 days later. So this one kind of is personal to me, but using any type of fluid to start a fire in a fireplace or a wood stove inside of a home is extremely, extremely dangerous, and I beg you do not use any type of liquid accelerant to start your fires. Use newspaper and kindling, and there's plenty of it available. Please do not use flammable liquids. We don't want you burning cardboard boxes, newspaper, wrapping paper, or trash. We preach this at Christmas time very hard because a lot of folks like to throw their Christmas wrapping paper or their birthday wrapping paper in the fireplace, and that is not what the fireplace is for. It's for burning wood and wood only. So no paper or trash in your wood stoves and fireplaces. Making sure that we use a metal or a glass fireplace screen over the front of it. Number one, to keep the sparks and the embers from flying out of your fireplace and setting things in the room on fire. And number two is a safety feature to make sure that us, the kids, the grandkids, and the pets don't trip and fall and perhaps fall towards the fire or into the fire